what we're working on. Here are the topics that we want to address today. So one is, we know the new app has been released, a new app update just last week. So we're going to share what it all is. If you've not yet seen it yourself, we want to talk about primary GPS mapping clarification, support Reso staffing update, new devices updates, the UCS pricing system. We want to confirm that we are going to do it, what we said earlier, we're going to do it in week 1 of December. Tolls process clarification and an update on the roadmap. But before we start, you see 2 new faces and 1 face that is not there today. And maybe to start with that, Ben, yeah, he's traveling right now, so couldn't join at this time. So that means from a marketing point of view, we'll address that topic next time when we have the meeting. The 2 new people are Farhan and Uzair. They both come from UCS. They were both working in operations as head of operations, an operations manager. So Farhan is leading our ops team for Australia. He came in, both of them, they came in on the 1st of October. So we're really in the first weeks, seeing what we do, see what we can learn from Uber and what we can take over. Both have worked for many years, 7 and 5 years in 7 and 5, right? Was there 7 and 5 years in CarNextDoor and UCS? So have a lot of baggage here on what's happening and what works and what does not work. So yeah, that's one thing that we are very excited about, and we're going to share a bit more about some other people that we've hired as well. First thing is, last week, or actually the 9th of October already, the app update that we did. That means we completed integration of the primary GPS into the app. So that means you as hosts can see the GPS location via managed access. We did see a few times of some people said, hey, I cannot see it. How does it work? If you update the app, you will be able to see it as a host. You can see the location of your car. The guests, they can see the GPS location at pickup time, or just before pickup time. At time of booking, they only see the home location. So just before, let's say, the trip starts, we give the exact address. That's very similar as what we had before. Hosts can add pick up and drop off pictures, or maybe instructions that you have on parking. You can do that with links that you can add into there's a field where you can also add some links. If you want to have a video, some hosts have said, I would like to share a video on how you need to pick up a car, or and how you need to pick up the keys, for example. So we have made that available. Still, there was a question on what can we do with pictures, really showing pictures in the app, with where maybe you can pick up a car, or you want to describe anything on pick up or drop off. We will get that live in the next release of the app. Right now, this is what we can do. So that means you can you have a field, you can add a description, you can add links to a video if you want to, or to any external site. That's what you can do. Next app will have pictures itself as well. The app is also much faster. We made it smaller in size, and therefore we see that we're faster, less hanging, those type of things. So it is improved, and so far we hear that feedback as well. If there's anything, obviously, as always, right? If there's anything that you feel this is wrong, or this is not happening, or something goes wrong into the app, just let us know, and we can see how we can fix it. We also did a couple of bug fixes in this release. Now, from when we did the app update, then one of the things, of course, with the primary GPS, we also saw some, in a way, strange type of locations for certain cars. How is it? So, for example, we had cars in Sydney that showed Western Australia, or you were in Melbourne and you saw a car in Cairns, and so that is wrong. Now, how can that be? That can only be if the mapping is wrong, right? So if, let's say, your serial number doesn't exactly match your rego, then that is wrong. So we've seen that some cars, they have been impacted by this. Also, a lot of cars have not been impacted by it. But what we have done is ourselves internally, we have looked at where do we see that the home location of a car is different. That is, the address of the car in the system is very different from the GPS location, and we try to fix that. That means we have asked different hosts to come back to us with the right serial numbers. Thank you for the people that have done that. It's quite a number that did it themselves. We've also proactively looked at that difference between home location and the actual address, and then reached out to the host and see what we can do to fix it. So as far as we know, we have fixed most. But if there are certain people that still face an issue with that, please just reach out to us, and we'll fix it straight away. It's purely backend mapping of your rego and the GPS. Wait a second. Yeah, so the balance ones that are still disconnected. So if you when UCS stopped and you took out the device, yeah, then obviously we cannot show the location. You need to put it in, and you need to let us know the serial number and the rego. It could also be that we have some pending transfer from the supplier of those GPS devices. So we're looking at that. But if you do have any issues, just let us.
I just want to add to that. I think very simply put, all primary GPS devices should be active and running, right? If there are only two possible issues, one is that you see an incorrect location at your end. If you see an incorrect location, just send it to us at support@driveme.au, and we'll try and resolve it within 24 hours of you sending it. Second is that you might hear from us that we see that your device is disconnected. There is a possibility that your device is disconnected. So if you hear that from us, just please make sure that your device is plugged back and your car is better. That's all, right? We are reaching out directly to people, but majority of the devices as of right now are fully functioning and correctly functioning.
Yeah. And I cannot see any questions in the meantime, Garth. I don't know if there's anything in the Q&A. We will address them at the end for all these questions that are coming in. Yeah, another concern, and I think this is a concern that we've heard in multiple different variations, basically around support and resolutions. Hey, it takes so much time. We're following up. What's happening? Yeah, we agree with that. It is definitely not good enough, and it's not what we expect and what we want. What we do see is it suddenly went up, and obviously, as you can all appreciate, is demand went up. We knew that it was going to go up, but we didn't know to what extent. And that's basically what has happened. Right now, what we have done basically to respond to let's say how our resolutions team and core team are handling is we doubled the customer service team, and that means the core team and also the resolutions team, as said, head of customer operations. Besides the two gentlemen that we see here, we also hired the person that was managing the team in UCS. That is, let's say, responsible for customer service and claims. So she just started on the 18th, on last Friday. So getting into it and seeing how our systems work, and we are right now working on getting the backlog down. And we have, as said, we doubled the customer service team, so we also expect that we will do this. Now, the backlog that we have is one, because of the increase of demand, but also, yeah, as you can imagine, with getting new people on board, those new people need to be trained, and they need to understand all the different systems that we use. They need to understand what we do from the platform. Also, good thing there is some people come from the same industry, so they do understand how this works in general, but how it works within DriveMate, that's what we're right now sharing. So what we basically see based on the capacity that we have and the cases that are outstanding, we expect the backlog to be fully cleared in 3 to 4 weeks. And that means we know that every week we'll get more and more cases. We are solving those cases, plus we solve part of the backlog. Therefore, it will take 3 to 4 weeks to have it all done. And that means what we can expect, because we work on a sort of first in, first out. And of course, unless something is really urgent, we'll do it straight away. But we work on a first in, first out. So that means in the weeks to come, response times will reduce as well. On top of that, we see that we are always looking to automate certain aspects of the process, and that will reduce resolutions time. Now, one very big thing is, and that's only week 1 of December, but when the new pricing model comes in, yeah, certain things will go different, right? If you think about excess kilometers, yeah, that is not there anymore in that sense, because it's just a pay per kilometer. So yeah, that will reduce that a bit. And of course, there will be some other things that will be added as well, but net it will reduce. Also, automated trip extensions. We know that is also a factor that is adding to the cases that we have. When we automate that, we'll see much less of it overall as well. And then there are some processes internally. What we can do, we have identified what are the big types of cases that we get, and we know that already. This is nothing new, but now it's just in higher volumes. We're looking at streamlining those processes as well, and that would make it faster. So we are pretty confident that we will clear the backlog, but it also means we still need to ask for some time from you guys. Just know we're working on it. We have many more people and more capacity to resolve cases than new cases coming in. But yeah, it takes a bit of time, so please bear with us. Now on devices and AutoPlug installations, yeah, we want to start as quickly as we can. As you can imagine, we were waiting for both Farhan and Uzair to come on board to see what they know. They've in the last couple of years worked with this, know exactly what needs to be done. We're setting up the installation guys and team, let's say, from what we know, what they know, and trying to see what we can do. Now, what we can say is that we have started shipping devices already, and that means you can expect them to be delivered in the next week. That is one thing that's right now happening. If you need devices, and it could be different types of things, it could even be lock boxes as well, or primary GPS. So just let us know. Fill out the form, and we'll share this deck as we always do. So fill out the form, and we'll share this form itself as well to request them, and we'll do what we can do. Now for AutoPlug installations, also there we are ready to go. We have a lot of AutoPlugs that were already installed, and I said we transferred it, and yeah, right now we can use them on our app. But for people that still want to get AutoPlugs installed, we can do that. We will kick this off starting 28th of October. So there's a list made, let's say, on where do we start, what are the what is the list of all the people that want it, how are you going to do this, how is the schedule for the installation people that we have that are going to work with, that we're going to work with, and then from next week we'll share it. If you have not thought about installing an AutoPlug but you want it, also for that, please fill the form and get the installation built. Now what we will do is we will send out communications this week for all the booked installations. Yeah, we just like with resolutions and cases that are coming in, we also see that a number of people have requested for it. So we first need to get those done. And that means if you are right now going to say, I want it, certainly we're going to schedule you as quickly as we can. Yeah, and in the coming 8 weeks, we expect to complete all the pending installs. if there are any questions around those things, please also share them on the chat. We'll address them. So for Lockbox, primary GPS, secondary GPS, what are the steps that we need to take? One is you as host, you fill the form. Step 2 is we work with the actually same fulfillment partner as UCS did, and that means that is all working very smoothly. When we get your request, we'll let them know they fulfill the order 1 to 2 days, and that's basically what's going to happen. Then they will ship it to you. You'll receive a confirmation email with the tracking details, and then 5 to 7 days after the request, you will receive the devices. And after delivery, the host will need to follow the provided instructions to install the devices. For AutoPlug, obviously, we install it, but for the others, you can install yourself. We have added all these articles into our help center, so that's where you can find it.
So I just wanted to address one question which came up on. Oh, sorry, I'm going to come on AutoPlug install, but anyways, answering this question for David. Answering this question on around the $100 installation charge for AutoPlugs. The thing is that if it's a AutoPlug install, if it requires our team to come in and install the AutoPlug, then it's a $100 charge, irrespective where the AutoPlug comes from, because it's a labor charge. It is not a device charge. We're anyways not charging you for the device. What we charge for is the labor and the per month cost of the running the device. So yeah, that. Hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, over to you, Dr.
Yeah. Yeah, and still, I think even on that, there's also still from a locksmith point of view, and there's still the cost of it, of let's say the installation is much more than the $100. So what we basically say is we also see the advantage of having this, and this is it's a really good device. So we see the advantage of having it. Therefore, we subsidize that, and that's what we do. We are asking for $100 indeed. AutoPlug installations. So how does it work? Same thing, basically, as the other devices in a way. You fill a form with the address. We'll start week 28 of October. You'll receive a confirmation email with the tentative installation date. You will receive that this week. And also a confirmation email the week before we'll install. And on the day itself of installation, the installer will coordinate with you to complete the installation. Now, the one thing that were some people we found that we're not aware yet of us changing to the model of UCS when it comes to pricing. And actually, we spoke to 2 people this week that were not aware of it, but we're also very happy with us going there to make the transition as smooth as we can. Now, we can confirm that we will do it in week 1 of December. Here is an overview of what the current system is, and then from week one onwards, what is the new pricing model. So when you look at pricing, currently we have a daily rate that you set, 150 kilometers included. You can also set an hourly price, also kilometers are included. What will be is that you will set a time charge per day, per hour, and a distance charge, 35, 45, 55 cents per kilometer, and that's basically what it will be for the guests. Currently, it is that there is the price that they see, the daily rate that you as a host set, plus the DriveMate fees. That is right now what it is. What it will be is that there will be a time charge and a distance charge times the kilometers driven plus fees again. So that's how it will be. Host payout is 75% of the host price, so 25% is the take from DriveMate, or 50% if you are on the fleet cover on BBI with us. So if you have insurance. And actually, a lot of people have done that already. And for some people, that is a main reason. For others, yeah, you can calculate when it makes sense. You get lower commission from us, so you can earn more for every trip. So yeah, it could be interesting in that respect as well. So if it does make sense, just let us know, and sign up for BVI, and we'll get that done for you. How it will be is again, nothing changes the commission that we take for normal or for BVI. There will be per kilometer there, same as with after every trip. If there's a promo, we'll talk about that in a bit as well. But yeah, you can get different payments for a trip. What we're going to do is we're going to do monthly, and that means you get monthly statements as well, where it becomes very obvious which earnings are for which trip. Fuel. Now the situation is that guests have to refuel to the same level as pickup, same to same. It works just like when they have filled up the tank. Distance calculation, and this is one thing that is certainly one of the big parts of disputes right now that we are receiving. We are calculating it manually, right? Distance calculations. In the new model, and this is one thing that is also extremely important, we will automate it, but of course we can automate it only if we can track how far the car has driven, right? So either via Autoplug, DriveMate Go, or the primary GPS. So we do have the 3 different models, like just mates, good mates, best mates, and you can choose whatever you like, and that's what we do. But what we need to get to is to having everyone on at least the primary GPS, so that means at least good mates, because otherwise it is not possible to calculate distance and therefore pay out straight away and automate it as well. So yeah, that is one thing that is important. Yeah, so we said we do it in the first week of December. And yeah, so the one thing we would like to ask you, if you have not yet, if you are on JustMates, if you're on the call right now, if you are on JustMates, please change that as quickly as you can to good mates or best mates, whatever suits best. But we need to make sure we can do automated calculation for kilometers. Now on the tolls process, and this is also one thing that we had a couple of topics, let's say, that people were interested in. One of the things that we heard was, what about tolls? Now, one thing that we see with our resolution center is that some people are sending us pictures of a toll for a specific trip, and then they call us and follow up, hey, can I get paid for this, and how does this work? And this is at the moment not very helpful in our current process, because what we do is we process tolls 1 time per month. We do that in the first week of the month for the previous month. So that means in the first week of November, we will get the statements in for October. We check which ones are on trips, and then we pay that out. And that means in the first 2 weeks of the month, you will be paid out. And so we would like to request you to not send toll photos mid-month. Because it is clogging the system, but we're doing it right now in the first week of the month anyway. So if you can do it once a month, would be really helpful, and that means we can keep the volume and yeah, that makes it's going to be much smoother. So we need less manual work. A couple of questions that we've seen is around these type of topics. It's not just a question about but topics. A couple of times right now, also people asked it to us in the chat prior to this meeting. But we see that some hosts are confused when it comes to who is paying for certain disputes, like if somebody drives too many kilometers or if people don't fill up the tank. Does the host need to pay that, or shouldn't they? Because guests were used to not filling up the tank, and right now we are asking them to do so. In the end, is that coming from the host pocket? No, the answer is no. It's not coming from the host pocket. It indeed is a dispute if somebody hasn't done it. We are educating people, but as said, from week 1 of December, we'll go to the UCS pricing model, and then those type of things will not be there anymore as a dispute, because people just keep. But one thing I just want to emphasize is it's fill up fuel, then just let us know, and we'll pay that out as per our policy. So just in general, for all these things, you as a host, it shouldn't come from you. Second question, and this is also an very understandable part, that it comes as a question like, hey, how does this work with these calculations? It looks very odd sometimes when we look at the DriveMate calculations, when they, for example, give a promotion to someone, or if I give my referral code to someone and they use that referral code and then it gets deducted from me. Am I as a host paying for this? No, again, you're not paying for this. But yeah, right now in our system, it's like this, that we deduct if somebody, for example, receives $20 discount, that $20 is taken off of the initial payment to you, but we pay that in a second transaction. We pay that to you, and with the same trip ID. So we'll pay it to you in 2 times. It is not the most handy situation or how it works in the system, but right now that is what it does. That will change, certainly. Right now, that's what it is. One thing, you are not paying for it, we are paying for it. We pay to you in 2 transactions. That is basically how that is. Another topic, what we've seen, and again, we also agree with this, and that will also be resolved hopefully from week 1 of December, with consolidation of trips. How does this actually work? It's difficult. You have very long, DriveMate has very long trip IDs, and sometimes, yeah, it's a puzzle to see what you got from your bank statement and what the transaction IDs were and what the payments were. So if you want to reconcile it, oh, by the way, sorry, it's written consolidation. It's to reconcile the trips and the bank statements. What we basically try to do is we are going to give you monthly statements, so it then becomes pretty clear which earnings are for which trip. Now, that was another point. Then a fourth point that we've also seen a few times, like, hey, it's not great. The car doesn't lock after a trip, and what can we do here? Now, one thing is in the next app update, also the car will be locked after the trip if the guest has forgotten to do it himself. Right? So if the guest has forgotten to do it, we will lock it, and then we will make sure that you as a host are notified of that. And that can be in different ways in doing that of notification, but we'll make sure that you also know, so you don't have to go to that car and see if it is locked or not, right? So yeah, we're trying to do that automatically from the next update. And last point that we saw here was sometimes there's a misalignment between the app and the web. So some things are different on the web and the app. Yeah, we know that that's the case. And for example, for odometer readings, those are things that we just need to bring to the same standard and everything same. That is something that we have identified and we're working on that. But when we look at certain priorities and we look at it right now, maybe from a roadmap point of view, then we know what we've said to you guys on what our priorities are. We're still working on those things. September, everything was resolved. October, we're still working on certain things. When you look at the fleet insurance, as I said, we have it live, so quite a number of people have registered for that, and that means the car from the 1st October is insured on a fleet cover between bookings as well. That is still possible also for others that want to join there. We knew that we got the devices for hardware devices, we got them live. We're still seeing what we can do to generate more demand, and I think the feedback that we receive from hosts is, yes, we see that it is picking up, so that's a good sign, and we want to of course increase that much more. The enhanced search for hourly trips, that's something that's still delayed. We expected, and maybe Gaurav, maybe you can share when we expect all these things in Amber here as well.
Yeah, I think the larger point, of course, as you can imagine, some of the priorities do change as we evolve, right? So our biggest priority right now is to deliver the charging and the payout system that is slated for first week of December, right? And that becomes, so a bulk of our efforts are going behind that, right? That's in terms of priority. So we want to ensure that the one on the extreme right, which is week 1 December for pricing system and payouts, that is green. We don't want to delay that. So that is top priority for us. The second big priority for us is to fixing the minor glitches that you face, some of the glitches that you face on trip extensions. So that is something that we're working on as second priority, right? In terms of enhanced search for hourly trips, faster and cleaner view of trips, we should be able to do the cleaner view of trips and the hourly trips in the next three weeks, I would say. We should be able to do that. There is somebody asked that question on QR codes. Yes, apologies for the delay. This week it should be out and you should have your QR codes for Vistaprint. So we keep, as that's why we call it the rolling roadmap, because some things do come up early. So when we made this roadmap, we never had the new pricing and the charging system and the monthly payout. We did have the monthly payout, but we didn't have the charging system. Now that we're moving into the charging system, some things have moved, and hence the difference.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's basically what we have. I don't know if there were any other questions.
Yeah, there are more questions. There are a few questions. Let me go in the reverse order. Michael has saying, I have many cars which are the same models. Can you quote license plate? Of course, Michael, that is correct. We will, when the statements come out, you will get the license plate numbers as well within your statement. So the statement will be at a car level and then rolling it up to your total host level. So that's where. Now there's a question from Peter. I think this question is more for Farhan or Rozair. Can the car still be locked remotely if the door is not fully locked? My understanding is that it can't be locked. So maybe one of you can answer that.
Yeah, that's right. So the car, all the doors need to be closed, including the boot in some cars, so that the device can actually lock. So similar to how you wouldn't be able to lock the car with a car key.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Paolo has asked a question about having auto plug and lockbox together. Can that be allowed, particularly when it is already configured to be that way, and the owner is bringing own device and there's no BBI? We understand, Paolo, what you did ask earlier, to have auto plug and lockbox together in the system. Currently, our system, and we do acknowledge that you need one, but it is difficult for us to keep it that way. To be honest, it's pretty difficult for us to keep it that way, because it does complicate the system, and there will be some guidelines coming on use of lockboxes as well pretty soon. So I don't think that we can honestly entertain that request. As we have demonstrated in the past, we are pretty open to such to requests. For example, you made the suggestion of having lock and lock facility for during trips. We're happy to do that. The team is already working on it. Should be out in the next couple of days. So, but this is one thing that we possibly cannot have both auto plug and lock box integrated to the same car. The other question, there's one question on the Stephanie and Rob have asked this question: why can't the distance be automatically calculated from the borrower's entry of odometer at pickup and drop off? Yes, it can be. Stephanie, you're right, it can be calculated. However, then you're at the mercy of the borrower what they're entering, right? Now, that is where when we go to distance-based payouts, right? We want to rely on the GPS more than what the borrowers enter, right, or the guests enter. We already have that data, but it's just that moving to the new pricing system, you want more accuracy, and we want to depend on the technology rather than the individual. I think again, there's one more question that we need to address, which is the $12 per day fee. Is that going to change with the new pricing system?
Yeah, I think we are not yet sure on how that will look like. There certainly is a certain fee that we need to have overall on the platform. So what we will look at is what makes most sense. We know that in Uber times it was a bit different, but we also want you to remind you that there were also some other differences, like also the commission. They had different commission levels as well, right? So what we in the end need to see is how do we make sure that let's say the split is something that the fees that we have as a platform is something that's sustainable for us to run it. And so whether that's 12 or different, or that will be different for longer trips, yeah, that's something that right now we're looking at. Our principle is very simple. We want to make sure that we're competitive, that conversions are good with guests. So that means that we can give you good demand, and that it is something that's sustainable in the long run. And that doesn't mean taking whatever we can, but it means we need to take whatever is required to run the business. So that means, in short, we will have a look when we are closer to the week 1 of December on how it will look like. But and that means there is nothing that is a given that we need to keep it this way. But we'll certainly just have a look at those 3 aspects that I mentioned before.
Yeah. So just one point on Stephanie, you have asked the question on the form being different. No, you're not losing your space in the. So yes, there was initially a form released for hardware for the auto plug, and then we upgraded that form to incorporate all the devices. If you filled the earlier form, Uzair, I'm just to confirm that, if you can confirm to Stephanie that stays as it is, you don't need to refill the form.
Yes, you don't need to refill the form if you filled the previous one. We're carrying that across.
Yeah, so I think one of the questions that Michael Pattinson has asked, can I feel confident that my secondary Sigfox GPS unit is linked to your system? That's a great question, Michael. Actually, while we have relied on 2 sources of data for the GPS mapping, one is what the owners have told us, and one what has been transferred to us from UCS. Now, given the experience on primary GPS in the last couple of days, we are going to run a thorough check on all the data from the secondary GPS and match it to what we have from you guys in terms of, let's say, your car's home location, etc. And if there are any gaps, we will raise it, because let's treat this next couple of days as a more of a migration confirmation exercise. As you can imagine, we are talking about a couple of thousands of cars here. So we want to ensure that all cars have the right mapping. There will be some cars which still I can without even looking at the data, I can tell you that the data there might be an issue on the mapping for those cars for secondary GPS. Right now, our complete focus is to iron out all the issues on primary GPS and auto plugs, because they are impacting lock and lock and the location being shown to the guest. that we want to completely iron out. Later this week, we'll run another verification exercise on the secondary GPS. Because that is absolutely needed to compare it to the home location. So thanks for your question, but we'll certainly do that.
Yeah, and also not just the home location, but also compared to your primary GPS if you have, right? So we also hope you have a primary GPS, and then we see if that's linked to the radio, we can see if the secondary GPS is shown the same
Yeah,
location.
in case you don't have the primary GPS, you have an auto plug, then we also figure out from there, right? If the auto plug's location is matching the secondary GPS location, provided the car is not on a trip. So we'll figure that out, and let's come back to you, Michael, but it's a great question. Now AI, or as you're mentioning, via autoplug GPS map location showing for different cars. So now I think that's certainly AI, and sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but certainly it seems to be your specific issue. If I can request you to drop your details in the chat here right now.
Sorry, what is the exact question, Gaurav?
He's saying that there is a mapping. He's saying in one of the cars, he's seeing another car's location. So it's definitely a mapping issue that the wrong auto plug is mapped to the wrong car. So we just need, if we can get just quickly the details, either in support or DriveMate, or if you can just send it to us right now in the form of a question, we will just copy paste it, and Uzair will quickly have a look with the team and close it out for you. So that is one. Peter is saying, can we have the website version have the same functionalities as the app? At the moment, the website does not display photos downloaded by the guests, and we can only see in the app. I think Durgan answered that question. There are some differences between the app and the web, which we are ironing out. And yes, that will soon be sorted out. Yeah, and I think same with the photos. We'll iron out the differences between the app and the website, and you should be able to see the issues with regards to the photos not being visible on the web. Yeah, I think that is it. No more questions. Future feature request. Can we have a part of the listing where we can put the toll tag number? This is, I think this is a fantastic point, Stephanie. And we are going to ask, so what she's saying is, can we have a part of the listing where we can put the toll tag number of the vehicle to help match statements at the end of the month? Actually, I don't know whether we paid enough. We elaborated on that point enough. Is where we are going to move to ultimately by December is that now, of course, everything is now focused on December to make sure everything goes right. But one of the things on tolls we're going to do is that you will be able to upload your statements directly in the app at the end of the month. Now, in any of the statements, whether it's linked or whether it's e-toll in NSW, the statement generally does not carry the car plate number unless and until you don't have a toll tag. It carries the toll tag number. So our system, once you upload the statement in the app, our system will, and we have almost built that system, but we need some time to test it. It will extract all the information from the toll tag statement without manual intervention, and it will tag the toll statements, that particular toll charges, to your car. For us to know which toll tag does that car belong to which toll tag is mapped to which car, you will have to tell us under devices, not right now, but later we'll ask you under devices for each car, please tell us what's your toll tag number so that we can link it. So that will anyways be required for you to do somewhere in end of November when we come up with the feature in December. So yes, the long answer to that is yes. Yep, that is it pretty much. We are going to publish this video and the presentation also with a summary of it on Facebook.
All right. And yeah, again, if there's any questions that come after it.
Yeah, there's one question from Barry. Please advise owners that the latest update has changed guest instructions and seems to have reset some price parameters. Barry, if I can, yeah. Do you really think the price parameters have been changed? If you think that is the case, maybe you can come in and tell us, Barry. Let me just get you in, like we did last time. Just hang on for a second. If we can request you to let us know. Wait a second. Let me get him in. Hey, Barry.
Hello, Gaurav. How you going?
Very well. How are you?
Good, mate. Good. So the pricing, the main pricing and the weekend charging has stayed the same. I had a long-term pricing on it, and it went back to zero. It toggled itself back to off. So I just had to toggle itself back on and put the figure back in.
So you mean the long-term pricing toggle, is it?
Yeah. That's all it changed. It just toggled itself off.
Okay. Thanks, Barry. We'll have a look into this, but thanks for highlighting. I was just worried if it's impacting the daily and the hourly prices as well.
No. All good.
Thanks, mate. Thank you. Thanks for that. All right. That's that. All right, okay. That's it.
I think yeah, thanks everyone again for joining. Yeah, we want to do this these type of sessions for you and see to keep you up to date on what we do, and of course we want to hear from you each time what kind of feedback you have and how we can improve and what we want to do. We want to set some expectations as well. I think that's going very nicely, and also between these sessions, anytime we get really good feedback, so we really appreciate that. Let us know if you have any other questions at a later stage. Come back to us, and then we'll update you in the next session. Over time, we want to bring these sessions to once every fortnight. Yeah, we see the things that we're working on. As we mentioned, for us, it's a very clear focus on week 1 December new pricing model, and whatever comes with it, like the monthly payouts as well. That is a key thing. We want to keep you up to date. Let us know what your thinking is on the frequency of this. We thought maybe it's good to do this once every fortnight. But as said, we don't do this just for us. We want to do this for you, and if you feel that we do this once a week, then we will. Thank you very much, and enjoy your evenings. See you guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.